And
Another thing is fear of rejection and social anxiety. That's the fear of being turned down or embarrassed. It often stops men from approaching women or engaging in social situations. Well, just like with the women, I would say that problem's not with the man. That problem's with the women.
Mm,
It plays into people approval. Get past that. Just keep going at it. Know what you want to do. Um, do you see fear and anxiety of rejection? In as a male? Or, I
absolutely.
won't put you on a spot. Do you experience this as
Nah,
a male?
because you know why? What I've learned is, first of all, I don't really look at a woman's reaction to what I say. Okay. In other words, I'm not trying to get validation. So if I go up to a woman, I say, hey, how was your day or whatever, and she looks at me like, are you talking to me? I don't really care,
Mm,
to be honest with you. So you have to kind of have like a hard shell where you're not really concerned about what her reaction is going to be. The other thing about me too is I really don't even speak to women that don't speak to me first.
mm,
It's not that I don't acknowledge them or I'm not respectful. I don't hold doors, please, thank you, excuse me, that type of thing. But in terms of engaging in a conversation, if there's not a business component to it, or I'm not really really attracted to her, like, wow, she's stunning. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I'm going to pretty much ignore it. So the rejection part is never something that I experience. And mainly because if I don't see any type of what they call choosing signals, like a woman is actually interested in me in any kind of way, I'm not approaching it at all.
So you look for the social cues before you
Absolutely.
proceed.
Absolutely. And I would really recommend to men that you really get with the women that like you. Okay. And trying to be persistent and trying to be persuasive with the flowers and the candy and the this and the that. I mean, yeah, you might be able to win her over a period of time, but to be honest with you, it's really not worth it because at the end of the day, she wasn't really interested in you to begin with. So really, it's always going to be where you got to do so much extra just to keep her attention, as opposed to when a woman sees you and she's like, "I like that guy."
Mm.
That's what you need to be doing. And I understand that doesn't work for everybody. Not every guy is tall or good looking or whatever the case might be. So there may be some men out there that need to try a little bit harder. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But I'm a real big believer in staying in your lane and being attracted to what's attracted to you. Okay.
Mm.
So, I mean, let's give it a number. Let's say you're a 6 or 7 guy, right?
Here we go
You're,
with that six again.
hey, it
Six
is
at
what it is.
best.
But let's say you're a 6, right? You're really probably not in the same league with a 9 or a 10. Okay. And most guys, they want the best looking woman that they can get, just like the woman is looking for the best, man that she can get in terms of, who he is as a leader, who he is in terms of being a provider, protector, the whole nine. We're all looking for the best possible deal. But I think with guys, a lot of times we need to go and date the women that are probably attracted to us in what I call, in our league. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So men are struggling with the same thing as the women, shopping outside their league. That's what I'm hearing, and it's important that we do realistically look at ourselves and look and examine our league, what women are in our league. And a lot of times, like we mentioned last week on last week's show, that you have that 1% that are tied to the big dollars and they're high profile, and then you have maybe that low percentage of the true rejects, that we just don't want to engage in. But then you have this big pool of the in-betweens.
Mm,
We seem to constantly overlook that pool of people.
yes, yes, I agree. And there's a statistic out there that says men between the ages of 18 and 28, and I know that's kind of outside of our demographic of who our audience is, but those men haven't even approached a woman in the last year.
Mm,
That barista who's working at Starbucks or that guy who's stocking the shelves at your local grocery store, I'm sorry, um, he's being overlooked. He could be a great guy, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
But because he doesn't have the earning potential, or he's seen as what we called earlier, quote unquote, a scrub, Okay. A lot of times women are overlooking those dudes and saying, nah, I'm not interested in that. Why? Because most of the time, uh, we want to live a certain lifestyle. And let's be honest, a barista at Starbucks or someone who's stocking groceries is not going to be able to provide that lifestyle.
So that shoots their self-esteem down even further, that
Yes.
rejection.
Yes. So now there's this struggle because there's only so many jobs out there that pay, let's say in excess of $50,000 a year.
Hmm.
Okay. The average person makes about what, 45, maybe
Hmm.
50 grand tops,
Hmm.
depending on the
Depending
area
on
that
where
you live in.
you're located.
Yeah, depending on where you're located. Um, so when we're trying to get with these high earners or guys who make, the six-figure guys or in excess of $100,000, those men are very short supply.
Mm.
So a lot of women out there, y'all just need to get with a regular guy who's making a decent salary, put your money together and build together.
Mm.
Because a lot of times that really good guy that you can build with, over time he's going to be successful. And what
Right.
we don't realize is men don't really stop becoming successful until they're about 35 years old.
Mm.
Okay. Anybody under 35 is still struggling, still trying to find himself.
Right.
You know? And if you look at most people who are really, unless you're a rapper, singer, or an athlete, that type of thing, yeah, they hit the lottery. But for
Right.
most guys, it takes about a good, 30, 35 years before you start to become the man that you're going to be.